The Slaton family of 1,000-pound sisters has captured the hearts and concern of millions. From the beginning, audiences were drawn to the raw honesty of Tammy and Amy Slaton as they navigated not only their weight loss journeys, but also the deep, tangled roots of their family dynamics. Behind the laughs, viral moments, and hospital visits, another storyline has been steadily brewing: the emotional turmoil within the Slaton family itself. As the series has unfolded, it's become increasingly clear that weight loss is just one piece of the puzzle. The Slatons' challenges with boundaries, communication, and emotional trauma are equally significant and arguably more complicated. The cracks in their relationships have deepened in recent seasons, leaving fans wondering, are the Slatons falling apart? And more importantly, is there hope for healing? Growing pains and pounds. Tammy and Amy's journey to health was never going to be easy. When the show first aired in 2020, Tammy weighed over 600 pounds, while Amy weighed about 400. Their bond, built on a shared history of struggle and codependence, initially seemed unbreakable. But rapid changes often bring friction. Amy's early success with weight loss surgery and the subsequent birth of her 2 children seemed to place her on a different path than Tammy, who at the time continued to struggle with her health and mood swings. Tammy's battles with addiction, emotional outbursts, and refusal to accept help were painful to watch, especially for Amy, who felt torn between being a sister and a caretaker. Add in their siblings Chris, Amanda, and Misty, all of whom have their own opinions, frustrations, and unresolved trauma, and the Slaton family starts to feel less like a support system and more like a pressure cooker. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. The Breaking Point. Season after season, fans have witnessed emotional confrontations and breakdowns. There have been screaming matches, tears, and silent standoffs. Tammy's journey toward sobriety and eventual weight loss surgery marked a turning point in her physical health, but emotionally, she seemed more isolated than ever. Meanwhile, Amy's marriage began to unravel, leading to a separation and eventual divorce from Michael Halterman. As the family's stress mounted, their ability to cope with one another deteriorated. What was once sibling banter turned into sharp barbs and cutting remarks. Amy's frustrations with always cleaning up Tammy's messes, Amanda's no-nonsense approach, and Misty's passive-aggressive commentary created a storm of conflicting emotions. Viewers saw it. The cast likely felt it. And behind the scenes, producers may have even encouraged it. After all, conflict sells. The root of the rift. What is really causing the divide in the Slaton family? Some point to fame and money as culprits. Reality TV fame can be both a blessing and a curse, especially for families not used to public scrutiny. The stress of being filmed constantly, maintaining a persona, and dealing with fan and hater commentary online can erode even the tightest bonds. But the deeper issue may be emotional boundaries, or rather, the lack of them. In therapy circles, codependency is a term used to describe relationships where one person enables another's poor behavior, often to the detriment of their own well-being. For years, Amy played the role of caretaker to Tammy, often putting her sister's needs ahead of her own family's. That kind of emotional entanglement builds resentment, even if it comes from a place of love. Meanwhile, Tammy's anger and resistance to help can be seen as defense mechanisms rooted in trauma, shame, and a lifelong pattern of being judged. Her siblings' tough love approaches, though well-intended, often clashed with Tammy's fragile sense of autonomy. In short, this is a family crying out for boundaries. What are boundaries, really? Boundaries aren't about pushing people away. They're about knowing where you end and the other person begins. They protect your mental and emotional space while allowing for healthy connection. For the Slatons, setting boundaries could mean Amy learning to say no when it comes to enabling behavior, even if it feels cruel. Tammy accepting responsibility for her actions without blaming others for her pain. Amanda and Misty expressing concerns without sarcasm or judgment. Chris finding a balance between being the peacemaker and having his own needs respected. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. When everyone has clear boundaries, there's less chaos, less yelling, less walking on eggshells. Boundaries give space for empathy to grow. But boundaries alone might not be enough. The case for family counseling. The Slatons have tried everything from interventions to retreats, but they've never publicly committed to long-term family therapy. That's unfortunate because if any family could benefit from a skilled counselor, it's this one. Family therapy is more than just sitting in a circle and airing grievances. It's about identifying patterns, healing trauma, and learning new ways to relate to each other. A trained therapist could help the Slatons understand how childhood trauma shaped their adult relationships, learn communication techniques that reduce conflict, unpack emotional roles like the caretaker, the scapegoat, or the avoider, develop empathy for each other's pain rather than reacting in defensiveness. Most importantly, therapy could help each member of the Slaton family rewrite the narrative. Rather than being seen as a messy, dysfunctional family, they could start to see themselves as survivors, people doing the best they can with what they've been given. A glimpse of hope. Despite the drama, there are glimmers of hope in the Slaton story. Tammy's incredible transformation, losing hundreds of pounds and confronting her demons, is nothing short of miraculous. Amy, though going through a divorce, is forging a path of independence and motherhood. Chris continues his own health journey, quietly showing what accountability looks like. There are moments of tenderness, too. A heartfelt apology, a shared laugh, a hug that says, "I still love you, even if I don't always understand you." It's those moments that remind fans why they started watching in the first place. The Slatons are flawed, messy, and sometimes maddening, but they're also deeply human. And like all humans, they deserve the chance to heal. Reality check. Fame may fade, the cameras may stop rolling, but family endures if you choose to make it work. So, would boundaries help the Slatons? Absolutely. Would therapy be even better? Without a doubt. But the real answer lies in whether they're ready to face not just the weight on the scale, but the emotional weight they've been carrying for decades. Until then, viewers can only hope that behind the scenes, and maybe one day in front of the camera, the Slaton family finds the tools they need to rebuild. Because everyone deserves a second chance at family, even those who seem to be on the rocks. Subscribe the channel to get such videos.